Hi everyone, it's Rhonda and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be going over the book mail that I got this month. We are actually at the end of September and I was actually pretty good this month. I did not purchase all that much. I tried to rein it in this month just because I just did a physical TBR video a couple of weeks ago. And if you watch that, then you know that my physical TBR is a little bit out of control. I apparently do not have any self-control when it comes to buying books. I do love watching BookTube and Bookstagram, and I'm constantly influenced by what other people are reading, and I want to read it too. And instead of just adding those books to a wish list to maybe get to further down the road when I've read most of the books that I currently own, I tend to just buy them and I need to stop doing that. But I'm going to, for the rest of this year, just really concentrate on reading what I have and then just really trying to avoid buying new books unless they're new releases that I just really want to read. So let's go ahead and get right to this. Like I said, there's not a whole lot. Where do we want to start? Let's start with, we're going to start with my book of the month pick. So I had to scoot you guys back just a little bit so you can see what I was doing. But the first box I'm opening is my book of the month box for the month of September. And this is not a sponsored video. I am in no way sponsored by Book of the Month. I just really enjoy them. I've been a member for almost a year now, and I've really been introduced to some really great books and some new authors. And I don't think I would have read those books or anything by those authors had I not read them through Book of the Month. So it's a really neat book club. Now I do have a coupon code for you guys. If you've ever been interested in this, now's the time to join, because if you use the coupon code that's down in the description, you can get your first hardback book for $5, which is a steal. So take advantage of that. They have some really good authors in there. Okay, so this first book that I want to show you, I have already opened this because I wanted to read one of these books this month, and that was The Wedding People by Allison Espach. But this one is about a woman who things aren't going well in her life, and she decides to book a room for one night at this really fancy hotel she's always wanted to go to, and her plan is to end her life. But while she's there, she realizes that there's a wedding going on, and this wedding party has booked this entire hotel except her room. And she ends up making friends with the bride and really gets into this found families type of situation. It was really funny and so cute. So this was actually the book of the month for August, and I actually skipped August because all the books just sounded really depressing and I wasn't interested, which is a good thing to know. If you do join this, you can skip months. But I started hearing about how good this book was and how funny and how it's not really dark and depressing. So I ended up reading it and I really loved it. It is I laughed a lot in this book. So if you're looking for just something kind of deep but not deep and kind of funny and quirky, then I would definitely pick this up. So this was the first book out of this box. And then the next one I cannot wait to read, but it is Phantasm by Kaylee Smith. And I have heard such good things about this book. I think Sarah Corelli recently read this. I believe she loved it, and this cover is absolutely stunning. I love this. But I think this is kind of like a gothic fantasy. I don't know a lot about it other than I think there's a necromancer and a ghost, and there is some kind of carnival or a trial, and the winner gets a wish granted. And that's all I know. So it's a little bit, I haven't read Carnival, but I've heard it's kind of similar to that, but more of an adult romantasy. So I can't wait to read this one. And then whenever you get a book of the month box, you always get a bookmark for that month, and this one just says back for more. They usually have little puns or cute little sayings on the back, so I will definitely be using that this month. All right, so let's do this one next. And I do not have scissors with me. Okay, I'll be right back. Got the scissors, so let's start opening this one. I think I know what this one is actually. And if it's what I think it is, I'm gonna open one of these envelope packages next just because it goes with that. But I don't know if I mentioned, all of my boxes are from Amazon with the exception of the Book of the Month box. I tend to purchase, oh no, I have a little stack from Barnes & Noble too. But I tend to just buy from Amazon or Target or Barnes & Noble and half price books, but let's see. Okay, first I have some stickers. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, this, I wanted to decorate my Kindle, and I think there's some Halloween stickers in here, some Christmas stickers, so this will be good to have. But in this box is, I've been buying the Bridgerton special edition books, and I read those books when they were being released back in the late 90s or early 2000s, and I love those books. I have read them. I will reread them every couple of years or every few years. I adore those books. I have not watched the show. I've heard it is amazing. My friends keep telling me, Rhonda, you need to watch it. But these books are so beloved by me. I love these books so much that there are some movies and some shows I refuse to watch if it's based on books that I adore, just because I don't want the books to be ruined in some way for me. But I have not watched the show, and I don't plan to. But this first book, let me show you, is I think the 3rd special edition book. But this has To Sir Philip with Love and When He Was Wicked. And I think these are gorgeous. They're just little simple hardback books. This one is in like a baby blue with the gold foiling. So the 2 books featured in this one is To Sir Philip with Love, which is Eloise's story, and then When He Was Wicked, which is Francesca's story. So I got this one, and I did buy, yeah, this one. This one is going to have, if I'm correct, next one is also going to be, yeah. Ew, I do not love this color. Okay, so this last one is the last 2 books in the Bridgerton story. It has, I can never say her name, Hyacinth and Gregory's story. So I don't love, it's kind of like an orangey yellow with purple foiling. I don't know. But it has the books In His Kiss and On the Way to the Wedding. Okay, so these are the last 2 special edition books of Julia Quinn's Bridgerton series. As I mentioned, I do have 2 more special edition books that have the other 4 stories, so my collection is complete. I do love these. I think they're pretty. I love that there's not like a sleeve, it's just the hardback book. And once I get bookshelves, these will look really pretty on the shelf. So let's put those there, and let's move on to this box. That did not work. Oh, jeez. I can't get it. There we go. Oh, okay. Yay! So I got Fear the Flames. I have heard amazing things about this book. It was originally independently published, and it has since been picked up by a major publisher. And I think the original indie version has like 800 or 900 pages, and I noticed when I was getting this that this has under 400 pages, so I think it's been considerably edited down, which I'm okay with. I mean, if it's going to help the story, and if you're going to edit out some of the story that really the story doesn't need, I'm okay with that. But I can't wait to read this, and I love, love, love that the map is in color, which means I can probably read it. Look how pretty that is. I do enjoy maps in fantasy books, but they're always in black and white. I'm reading Court of Thorns, and the writing is so tiny in those maps. I have no clue what cities or towns are being represented in those maps, just because I can't read it. But this looks gorgeous. And it just has a green and black hardback book. So this is another book where I don't know a lot about. I know that people love it. It just says an exiled princess teams up with the last man she thought she could trust in the start of a dazzling and unforgettable epic fantasy romance series. So I'm assuming this is going to be enemies to lovers. I do know, based off the cover and what I've heard, that there's dragons, and sign me up. I love books with dragons. I did read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and I love those, and I love the dragons in those books. So I cannot wait to get to this book. All right, next, let's do this last box. I do not like these boxes. I think they're better for hardback books and books in general, but they're kind of hard to get into. okay, I forgot I got this. So I have, I can't get it out, but I have Dance of Thieves in hardback, and I do want to read that hopefully in October. And it is an enemies to lover fantasy romance, and I've heard really good things about it. In fact, one of you said that I need to read that ASAP. But I did go ahead and get the second book in that series. I think it's a duology. So that's what this is. It's A Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. And it's just, I don't want to read the plot because I haven't read the first book and I don't want to ruin anything for myself. But this is the second book in that duology. So there we go. Okay, next is a thin book. I don't remember what one this one is. Oh, okay, yes. So this is actually a book that I've already read, but I wanted to have a physical copy of it because it was so good. And it is, if you're looking for a good fall romance, a little cozy romance that's actually good, then read Coming Home to Stars Fall by Kate Hewitt. I read this last month and it was such a darling book, and there's a little bit of a mystery. It's about this woman who, she was put into the foster system, and as an adult she's quit her job and she's moved to this small town because on her birth certificate it says that her birth mother is from this small town. So she's hoping to meet her mom. And this town has seen better days. It's just, a lot of it's boarded up. And so she's moving into this town not only to find her mom, but also to start her own business. It's a pet store and a pet bakery. It's really cute. And then across the way, there's a man who owns this bookshop who is just a grumpy guy. So this is definitely a grumpy sunshine. There is a bit of a mystery, and it is so good. So I know a lot of people are pushing the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I didn't read that one, but I read the second one in that series, the Cinnamon Bun Bookshop, and really did not like it. And I don't think that author is for me, but I would say definitely if you did not like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, try this one. It's not super spicy. In fact, I don't even remember, I think this is a clean romance. I don't think there was a bedroom scene, but it was really darling. So definitely check this one out this fall. Okay, next is, see, these are the little packages I like to open. They're super easy to get into. Oh, this is another fantasy that I've been hearing a ton about, and that is Bewitched by Laura Thalassa. And this is book 1. It says, I knew you would come, my queen. At age 20, Celine Bowers, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. Bowers is actually my maiden name. I didn't know her last name was Bowers. Okay, cool. So at the age of 20, Celine Bowers desperately hopes to be accepted into Henbane Coven. So this is a witchy fantasy, but it's an academy for young witches. Since one of the requirements for entry is to connect with her powers via a quest through the wilderness, Celine books a trip to South America. When a nefarious supernatural force tries to drag her plane from the sky, Celine's magic awakens to save her life at a cost. Using her powers, devours her memories one by one. Worse, when Celine braves the jungle and discovers the source of the attack, she finds herself awakening an ancient evil, Memnon the Curse, who takes Celine for his long-dead wife, the wife who betrayed him. Celine manages to escape and begins her studies at Henbane, but when Memnon turns up at the coven and witches are found dead across campus, Celine becomes entangled in a dangerous plot. Accused of the murders on the basis of her memory loss, Celine must rely on Memnon's help for answers, and his plans for her will change everything. So this is a romantasy involving witches. Definitely sounds like an enemies to lovers, hate to love situation, and I've heard really good things about this. So yeah, this is book 1. I think book 2 is out right now. I don't know how many books are going to be in the series, but I'm loving the fact that you're going to be going to South America and in the jungle, which is a little bit different than some of the fantasy books that I've read. A lot of it is kind of medieval type settings or urban settings, so this is going to be kind of fun to read something that's set in the jungle. So that would be a good little fantasy to read soon. But these are all the books that I got from my book mail this month. I did get a little stack from Barnes & Noble. I had to go to Barnes & Noble the other day to get a new watch My Apple Watch that I had previously would not really hold a charge for very long, and it was very, very old. So it was time for me to upgrade, and I had some gift cards, so I went ahead and got the new Series 10 watch when it came out. And of course, there is a bookstore that I had to pass by. Barnes & Noble is at the mall where I got my watch, and I cannot walk by Barnes & Noble's or any bookstore for that matter without going inside. So I did make the mistake of going inside Barnes, and I did buy a few books. The first one is The Do-Over by Sharon M. Peterson. This is a contemporary romance. I don't remember what this one is about. It just says, it took the most humiliating breakup for me to see that my life is in serious need of a do-over. Cue my anti-New Year's resolution that even I can't fail at. Stop dating, men are the worst. Stop trying to lose weight, I'm never giving up chocolate. Stop working so hard, selling mortgages, it's not my dream career. Stop trying to live up to unrealistic expectations. Stop trying to please my mother, it's not possible. But it turns out number 5 is harder than I thought as she begins her campaign to get me back with my ex. So what's the perfect solution to keep her out of my love light? An imaginary boyfriend. At least he was supposed to be imaginary until I blurted out my neighbor's name. Nate, the boy next door with gorgeous hazel eyes, a razor sharp jawline, and a mysterious scar, might be hot, but he's definitely not my boyfriend. Now all I need to do is stick to my resolutions while also helping my interfering family away from my non-existent lover who has no idea that we're fake dating. What could possibly go wrong? So this sounds really cute. I think this is going to be a good January romance. Obviously it features fake dating, and I just think it's going to be really cute to read in January. So I picked that one up. Okay, the next book I got is 6 Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. This is the little novella that's in her Crowns of Nyaxia series, and I have already read this and I absolutely loved it. This is definitely a romantasy novella, but it's more romance than fantasy. Yeah, there's fantasy elements there just because the male main character is a vampire, but it really focuses on just their romance. But this is about a woman whose town has been cursed, and people who get sick from this curse, they end up just kind of slowly turning to dust. And she thinks the cure to this disease or this curse is vampire blood. And so one day she goes into the woods and she knocks on the door of the vampire that lives there. He's kind of a recluse, and she makes a deal with him to give him some roses in exchange for vials of his blood so that she can test it to see if it will help people in her little town with this disease. It was so good. I love this, and it's really short. It's a novella. It's under 200 pages. I want to say it's like 100. It looks like it's 160 something pages. So there are 2 different versions of this. Target has one version, and this is of course the Barnes & Noble version, but it does have the sleeve, and then it has this artwork on the cover, which is beautiful. It's a vial of blood, I think, with a rose in it. But this was such a good little novella. I read this really quickly and I absolutely loved it. So please, please, please read this. And if you have not read the Crowns of Nyaxia series, the first book is The Serpent and the Wings of the Night, and then you read this one, and then the third one is something in this, I don't know the names, but this goes in between the 2 full-length books that are out in that series. So, oh wait, here it is. So the first book is The Serpent and the Wings of the Night, then you need to read this one, and then the next book is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. So read. The whole series is really good. If you love vampires, then you would love that one for sure. And then I was getting coffee on my way out at the little Starbucks there at Barnes, and sometimes they sell books there at the cafe where it's only $5 with the purchase of a coffee. And the one they had for sale was Stalking Jack the Ripper, and I went ahead and got it. It was only $5. I've heard mixed things on this one. I've heard people really love it, and I've heard people not enjoy it as much. But for $5, I was like, I'll give it a try. I personally am obsessed with anything involving Jack the Ripper. I find that story just fascinating, how he could do these horrific things to these women and get by with it and never get caught. And so I've always loved watching documentaries about who could have been Jack the Ripper. So I think I might enjoy this. So this is kind of like a YA thriller. I don't think it's fantasy. I think it's just a mystery thriller, but it says, he murdered women in cold blood. He terrorized an entire city. He taunted those of us who hunted him down. But despite all these horrors, in the end of the day, I could not deny it. I was a girl who loved stalking the Ripper. And the little blurb says, Sherlock Holmes meets Mary Shelley in this brilliant take on the legendary tale of Jack the Ripper. With memorable characters and deliciously sexy writing, Carrie Maniscalco paints a picture of 19th century London that lives and breathes in wonderfully sinister fashion. You won't want to put this book down. So as someone who is obsessed with Jack the Ripper and that whole story, I think I'm gonna enjoy it. So for $5, why not give it a try? And ooh, there's pictures in there too. Anyway, so that is the last book from Barnes & Noble. I do have one book from Half Price Books, and that is The Third Wife of Faraday House by B.R. Myers. I think this is just going to be kind of a cozy mystery. It says, two brides band together to unravel the secrets at the heart of a crumbling island manor in this delicious love letter to Gothic fiction from award-winning author of Dreadful Splendor. So this is set in the 19th century England, and it says, restless but naive Emmeline Fitzpatrick is desperate to escape her stifling life in foggy. I need my glasses, I can't read. So she lives in Halifax. Her guardian is lining up repugnant suitors, but Emmeline has her eyes set on a lieutenant in the British Navy. She just needs to persuade him to propose, or her one chance at happiness will be gone forever. But when Emmeline's hopes end in scandal, she finds herself with only one suitor left, the wealthy and enigmatic Captain Graves. Having already lost two wives to tragic circumstances, the widower is seeking a new companion in his cloistered seaside manor, Faraday House. Or at least that is what Emmeline has been told, because when she arrives, she is horrified to discover that the second Mrs. Graves, Georgina, is still alive, though fading fast. Ooh, so, okay. So she, I guess, gets engaged to this man and is brought to this house, but his wife is still alive but dying. Interesting. Okay. Emily is only certain of two things. Something ghastly is afoot at Faraday House, and no one is going to save her. She will have to rely on her own courage, her bond with Georgina, and the aid of a handsome reverend with a mysterious past to shed light on a ghostly truth. Okay, so this is going to be not only like a little cozy mystery, but it's going to be a little spooky too. That sounds good. I just read like a little cozy mystery that was set in Regency, England this month, and I did enjoy it. I did wish there was a little bit more of a romance to it, but this sounds really good. So I cannot wait to read this one. So these are all the books that I got, and it's, oh God, I gotta put this down, it's so heavy. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books, which is a lot more than I thought that I got this month. But I've read, but to my credit, I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. So that means only 7 need to be added to my TBR card. But here they are. If you've read any of these books, specifically Phantasma, Fear the Flames, Bewitched, or Stalking Jack the Ripper, let me know how they were, if you liked them, if you didn't. And then in the comments, let me know what book you bought recently that you cannot wait to read this month. But here we go, these are all the books. Thank you all for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, and like I said, comment on any of these books that you've read and let me know if you like them or not, and then let me know what new book that you bought that you can't wait to read. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.